this man, because I know I think he went semi-viral, possibly something like that. We'll see. Hold on. All right. Anyway, so this man says man confesses to killing his parents during news interview, arrested in front of station. Okay, well, let's just see what he has to say. This is up. Is this high quality?
Right, Lorenz, well, thanks for sitting down with us. We really appreciate it. We'll get to the statement, but first we want to talk about the more recent event, actually the prior events and now the more recent events. Take me back to the summer of 2017. What happened to your parents?
Um, my mother wrote me a note, which the police must have now, describing her walking across Whitehall Road, not Whitehall, Wolf Road, and yellow and green, black and blue marks on this. And she wrote that down, and that was a situation that became a problem, because when elderly start to fall down, the time comes that they start to, beginning of the end. And my father also had cataract surgery, and he lost his vision to double vision, so he couldn't be a...
Money.com, the opposite of any
Come
work
on
platform
now.
we tried in the past. We tried other work management platforms,
he couldn't drive, so they were losing their independence and so forth. And my mother had a brother who had Alzheimer's, and my father had a sister who had Alzheimer's. They were both in nursing homes. My mother had a second sister who also had Alzheimer's, and they put you in a bed.
You can already tell just from a minute and a half, not even that. I could tell in the first few seconds of him talking, he has some type of mental, like something is mental. Like he's not all the way there. Let's just say he's not all the way there. You can tell that immediately.
They put catheters into you. They rip your teeth out to try to keep you, the whole 9 yards. So this is in the back of my mind.
So you didn't want to see them deteriorate and go through that, did you?
I'll mention, the police know about my sister and having to see my sister die from cancer. I was 16, she was 14. Go through 9 months or so of, the agony of cancer.
Mm-hmm. So did you kill your parents as a mercy killing to put them out of their misery? You can be honest with us.
I know. I'll leave that for the statement that I put on your website.
The statement doesn't mention that.
I know.
The statement does not mention that.
Right.
I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
What did you do to your parents?
I buried them in their property.
What?
Sometime August 2017.
And did they die at your hand? That's the question.
Right. I'll have to leave it for that statement.
But that's not in the statement. And I think it's important for people to know what happened to your parents.
Right.
They were your parents. You loved them. They were deteriorating. What did you do?
I will.
Don't tell me you're going to leave it to the statement, because it's not in the statement.
I know.
What did you do?
It affects all of us, and we need to widen up the law so that people can deal with these kind of problems in a humane way, whatever way that people can deal with.
Avoiding the question.
And I did my duty to my parents.
So you ended their lives.
I won't.
You're saying that without actually saying that word. I want to hear you say that word. Did you have any concern that whatever you did was wrong?
He said, hold on, he said his Fifth Amendment. What's the Fifth Amendment? Fifth Amendment. Oh, due process. Right to a grand jury indictment for serious crimes. Protected. Oh, okay. Or the right to remain silent. Okay, that's what he's saying. Well, why would you go to a news station? That only makes sense because you got the whole News 6 exclusive CBS 6 album.
Did it, knowing it's wrong.
If I ever did it. Okay.
So you believe what you did was right. You believe taking your parents' lives
O.J.
was
Simpson.
the right thing to do for their sake.
If I did it.
If I did it, absolutely like that.
But you did do it. You're saying to us that you did it.
There's a statement there that we'll deal with more later, if you want to know.
Lawrence, I appreciate that, and we'll talk about your statement, but show me where in the statement it says that you killed your parents. It doesn't. It doesn't talk about the fate of your parents here. You from you.
Yes,
Right.
I remember that.
And I think now's the time. Did you kill your parents to put them out of their misery?
My concern for their misery.
Yes or no, man?
It was a huge burden to have to face this coming up. You're a good questioner.
You think this is a joke? Yeah.
I'm not an attorney. I'm not an officer of the law. You don't have to say that to me.
Oh, yes, but I mean, whatever I say here is going to be held against me elsewhere. Right?
Of course, but you probably answer to a higher authority anyway in the long run. So I think you can tell us what happened. Did you kill your parents together?
But I can't. I'm not going to speak about things like that.
But you have a chance to tell the American people right now.
I want their feedback on my statement. Then I can believe that I can tell the truth uninhibited.
You don't think you're going to get better feedback if you're honest with them? And tell us what happened?
I put things in the right order. They have to be in the right order. But it's very important that, insofar as exculpatory material, the police have that statement from my mother regarding what happened to her, crossing the street at Wolf Road, falling down, She also had a problem with, she mentioned she was getting lines in her eyes for some reason. And there was no, I don't know what that would be.
That was the prelude that helped set things in motion. That started your parents' downhill trend, health-wise.
Yes, but also the letter from her to me said, "Do something," or this you need to know this in a way that was,
your parents asked you to kill them or to take their lives in a merciful fashion.
I think they wanted me to take responsibility for things.
They asked you to take their lives, to do what they couldn't do?
Implicitly, but not explicitly.
So you were just granting their wishes?
My mother, after my sister died, my mother would give me these do not resuscitate things every few months, and she wanted to die given her grief for my sister, her daughter.
And you love your parents and you wanted to honor their wishes?
There's something special about our family that we can somehow read each other's minds. And being things explicit isn't necessarily, I could complete my grandmother's sentences for her, and she would say, well, I didn't know. So, I mean,
this is crazy.
Good driving record.
Did one parent, did your mom or your dad, more so than the other, ask you to take their lives?
They didn't explicitly say that, but they made it clear that they were going downhill.
When it actually happened, when your parents died, did they know what was happening to them?
Oh, yeah.
And they knew it was at your hand? Then they were perishing at your hand.
Yes. And it was so quick.
How did you do it?
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Well, you just told us that
right.
It was at your hand.
Right.
Were there drugs involved? Was there suffocation? You suffocated them? You suffocated your parents?
Yeah.
That was the best way to take their lives.
Why you say?
After he died, my mother put her head on his chest, and she was there for a few hours, and then I finished her.
What? Why you gonna say I finish her like it's a game?
Did you get it immediately?
No. I didn't know what to do after that. I was thinking what to do. Sunlight. I remember my sister. She received either a gift of a lamb or on my mother's grave, and the police must have that now too.
You call it a grave? You bury it in the backyard and you see it as a grave?
Well, I buried them, and I put a thing around my mother's grave, and with Page Street next to her, and I put that there.
What about your father?
What did you think as you were doing it? As you were taking their lives?
Not thoughts, action. Make sure it's done and not
What? Oh,
fool around, not make a mistake. But, I'm sure the police are going to say, what an incompetent idiot I am on that. But,
Did they both pass away peacefully? Did they struggle as you did it?
definitely. You suffocating someone.
But they're, I think my father died very quickly, like surprisingly quickly.
I don't think he understands, because I think in his mind he's probably thinking because if you suffocate someone, obviously, let's just say he put the pillow over their head, whatever, they're gonna be flailing around, which is why I'm not really understanding how the parents are laying in the same bed. She laid her head on his chest. But when you suffocate someone, wouldn't they be technically like moving their arms, trying to get free? You know what I mean? It would be like a lot of commotion, I would assume. But I guess I don't know, maybe his parents were like disabled or something like that. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you say that unalive them peacefully, or because he specifically said the last minute, and like once you're holding the pillow over someone's head for an extended period of time, obviously he probably, like, once the body was lifeless, he probably didn't realize, so he probably kept the pillow there and probably for another 60 seconds, and then he thinks that was the peaceful part, but it's like the person was already gone, that type of thing. I think is what he meant.
That shocked me. And then, the part with my mother, that went quickly too.
Did you realize what you were doing, as righteous as you may have thought it was illegal, and
Oh yeah.
you knew you were breaking the law? You knew you were...
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have to squeeze the law to fit the humans, not us, the humans to fit the law. And we have 40 million boomers, they're all going to suffer a horrible death, typically. My mother always, if somebody died in their home, she would say, great, the person died with their boots on, instead of going to a hospital and going through a meat processing factory kind of thing. So they were both children of World War II. My mother was born in 42. She was a toddler. She told me she would follow funerals behind the horse and wagon. This is the kind of world she grew up in. My father was at age 12, and the globe, the genocide of British geopolitics, as I call it. And so they were not fooling around on things. They were serious people.
When you were doing this, did you think about the financial ramifications, the fact that you would continue to take their government money?
Once that happens, what do?
Like, he didn't do that himself. That's not a natural act. It's sick.
The government is pissed because I took the Social Security money and gave it to people who were starving in the Philippines. Okay then, be angry about that. But the police know all the money that I had went to people to help them. Thousands of dollars. I gave almost, not all of it away because there was still a lot left. But I gave away, I didn't enrich myself.
That's crazy.
What you did?
No, but this is not a kill for money case, it's important to say. It's, in fact, I was helping people before that just fine, so it didn't, the issue of taking my parents' money for other purposes, they had a theory going, which we talked about on Tuesday, and they wanted to try to say that this was taking their money to give away to other people, but it was that the other part is the primary situation.
Someone called that blood money.
Right, and I was giving it away.
But it's still blood money.
Well, if you kill to take someone's money away, that's blood money. But if you what was I supposed to do with this money? Again, I couldn't tell anyone. The government needs to have an office where you can say, this is something that happened, and here's how it happens, and they need to deal with these kind of problems in an open way. Everything in this country is hidden away, and this is a societal crisis. Again, 40 million people are going to deal with this, and maybe a multiple of that given their friends and family. So I mean, it's a reality of human experience. And I just want to say, in 2020, there was this YouTube channel called Tribe of the Fox, and they did a video called The Managonda. And they explained how in the ancient times, they had men who would do this for the elderly, so they wouldn't have to suffer. And of course, the ancient Greeks always believed in dying on the battlefield rather than dying, in a bag of bones, like a bag of bones.
You can see where his mindset is.
America is totally.
They didn't die on a battlefield, though. It sounds like they died in their beds with a pillow over their faces.
No, but you could put it that way.
I mean, it wasn't a battlefield.
Well, right. It's not. I mean, the preference of people of the ancient Greeks was to die on a battlefield rather than die so infirm that you had nothing.
Was it a pillow that you used?
No.
What did you use to suffocate them?
Bare hands?
Out of my hand, from my mother, a rope.
So you strangled her?
Oh,
Cut off the oxygen to both of them. That was your method.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hands? Okay. And a rope. That's interesting, a rope.
I did the right thing for them based on the situation. I did my duty to them as a son. And that's
A duty as a son. That's a crazy way to put that.
It fell into place. I don't know how it happened that it all fell into place. But one does one's duty and one is done. The issue of regrets, I can't say this.
How he keeps saying it's his duty to do this.
And of course, life is horrible. It has horrible moments in life. But that's that.
Look about
I just want to make sure I have it correct, because
50.
facts are important. You used your hand, a single. You choked her with.
No. Just a rope.
Right. I'm sorry. I meant you choked her with a rope, though, instead of your hand.
Right.
Okay. Are you on any medications today?
Well, no.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Is your mind clear and?
I'm just a little sleepy, but trying to keep my
You ask me, has he ever been on medication?
Mental disabilities that are affecting what you're saying here today?
Correct.
I'm sure we'll put this on. And are you ready to face the consequences now with the police and the authorities?
Yes, but I would like the American people to also read my statement. So,
Like, I don't know. Like, should stuff like this go on YouTube technically? Because, there are people who get inspired by stuff like this. And then they'll try to enact it and be like, oh, yeah, well, I saw the man who was on Lorenz, who was on that, station. Now I can go on a station and do the same thing. Like, They say like Dahmer was inspired by.
I'm not really concerned about the police or the courts or anything. There's something much bigger in life, and we have to deal with the big things in life.
Okay. But again, just to be certain, in 2017, you took your father's life.
Correct.
And then moments later, or a short time later, you took your mother's life on that same day.
Right. No, well, see, that's the thing. It was late at night, and it was like late evening on one day into early morning there.
So within hours of each.
Right. I'm trying to remember, because there was, yeah, I don't remember.
Did you sit with your mother? Were the three of you together in one
Well,
room?
before they died, my father was here, my mother was here, and I told them what happened to me and my sister after she died. And my sister died, but she died in May of 1988, and then in that fall was I was doing my 11th 11th grade now then, and there was I had to do a paper and a big test. So I did an overnighter to do that test, and then tried to do a second overnighter to finish that paper or something. And I crawled to bed at like 2:45 in the morning, and sometime then after, I popped out of my body, and I started floating up to the ceiling. I saw the nooks and crannies, and I acknowledged that the nooks and crannies of the ceiling, and then the whole world disappeared. And I was in this big black void, and things was rushing by, and then I saw my sister in a doorway, in profile. Anyhow, after that, it was like a near-death experience kind of thing. And so I told my parents about that experience, and I told them, go find Rosa. My sister's name was Rosa, and so my father just died quickly, so quickly. And I told him, find Rosa, and
Is it? That'd be my thing though, because it's like you never know people. They could be your children and do this to you. It's like crazy because you never know. You never know. Like you would think someone like him who has some type of clear mental something going on, that maybe he would have been getting help or something at some point. But you wouldn't even think someone, or at least I wouldn't think someone like that would do something like that. But I know there are situations where people with mental illness do end up, you know,
you know, that's that.
And then again, just take me through after your mother died, how long was it before you buried them? Approximately.
2 or 3 days, actually.
So your parents' deceased bodies were in your house with you for 2 or 3 days.
Right.
And then you decided you had to do something to cover up your crimes or to properly.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I had to bury them.
Was the burial to cover up your crime? You didn't want to be found out.
Right, of course. I mean, what to do? So again, the thing to do just occurred to me. Oh, she can fit here and he can fit there.
I don't know one.
Have you lived with fear of being found out all these years?
All these years. Doesn't say.
I struggle to do other things with my life to try to make something great out of it, because if that's what I know that they would not want me to rot away to death in prison over this life, and in the end do its best with the people of Germany. Really, I call it being a Volkswagen. It took me years to understand all this, but I learned a lot in the last eight years that I never knew before, and I learned self-educated in so many ways. So I did not. The issue of being caught is I was able to buy time to solve huge problems. And that's worth it in many ways. To the American people, to me, and to them, to their legacy, to their,
Do you think people are going to accept this rationale
they probably won't.
and feel for you?
What they need to feel is for their own parents. They're going to face the same problems, and they're going to have to find solutions ahead of time, or else they're going to end up like me. That's the reality.
Are you telling other people that when their parents start ailing, they should take their lives?
They have a duty to their parents to bring them comfort at the end of life when they believe they need to.
At the end of life.
You took both your parents' lives.
Yes.
And you realize that you're probably going to face the criminal consequences.
Oh, of course.
I mean, you're probably going to be arrested,
Well,
charged.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're going to.
Of course, he's going to.
You have to go through the process. How it will come out at the end, I don't know. But to influence that process, I would beg the American people to read that statement.
You're going to prison.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Like, what? He said he don't know how it's gonna turn out. You just confess to doing it. Oh, there's still more.
You good, son?
Oh my god.
I think we covered all the bases. You know, is there anything else you want to say?
Why did you write that? What?
I'm calling it a manifesto. What would you call it?
A statement to the American people. Is that what I wrote? That's what you wrote down?
I wrote statement to the public. Because you said that.
Yeah.
You said that to me.
Right. Yeah. A statement to the public. Right. That's why I say I need the conversation, more conversations over this.
But do you think people are going to want to talk about this or the fact that you took your parents' lives?
Right, they're going to talk about that. That's what they want to know. It's just reality. So, I mean, they'll, you know, it's a horrible situation to be in. Many other people are going to face it.
But are other people going to take the same?
You know, I owe it to you to do it, as opposed to right and wrong, the law, etc. These are different ways of being. And of course, the law in this country does not allow for this way of being.
But are you truly confident that's what your parents wanted?
I know my parents are harsh in certain situations.
Are you sure you did what they wanted to be done?
I think that they would have increasingly wanted me, would have wanted me to help them if their situation got any worse.
So that day in what you think was August of 2017, what made that day the day?
8 years.
It was just no noise or something like that.
So you were safe from detection?
Right, of course. Because it was summer, right?
So because it was a little chillier that night, you decided to take your parents' lives.
That note she gave me was sometime in May or June, I think. When she said she fell, it was May or June or something like that. So it has been, you know, my father already told me he has double vision. He had a hearing aid. He couldn't hear anymore. His eyes were going. He couldn't drive. My mother, I knew their independence and even awareness of the world because of, you know,
turn signals.
Most people, I think I'm safe in saying, would not take their parents' life because they couldn't use their turn signals properly.
We'd all be dead. Anybody who drive.
Good point, but again, it's not just that. It's one marker of decline.
What?
By then, one died, and her brother was going to die, and maybe.
Did you kill them?
And he was in a terrible situation. So, the other aunt of mine was I think even in an even worse situation because of Alzheimer's. But I never visited her because I mean women tend to want to be remembered.
Yeah, he never could do it, is what he was about to say.
So I didn't visit her for that reason, but I also never knew enough to visit where she was or anything like that.
But again, you feel like it was your role to, I mean, some might call it playing God, deciding on their lives. It was fair for you to do that?
If the decision is going to be made, it's going to be a plain God decision. And truly, you know, we lived through this COVID thing. Cuomo is, there's probable cause to arrest Andrew Cuomo for thousands of deaths because it's on the record that he sent people into nursing homes for a certain reason, and there was reports that people died as a consequence. So that's probable cause. But
Andrew Cuomo did not put his hand around someone's neck. Andrew Cuomo did not put a rope around someone's neck.
That he would be culpable of criminally negligent homicide. I think that's.
So what are you guilty of? Are you guilty of murder?
Right. Let him have it. He asked all the right questions. Cause I seen this video. This one.
You could say age-related homicide or something like that.
Age?
It's not in the law.
What do you say?
But it should be. Somehow it should be.
Age-related homicide.
And maybe if it's accepted at some point, because there's 40 million people that want it to be accepted, this will blow over. And I'm willing to make restitution to the family. That's why I mentioned that other type of legal system. And
Lawrence, this is not going to blow over.
I know.
You killed your parents.
Restitution to what family?
That situation, but to me, it's not very important. It's politics is subject to change. Everything is negotiable. Donald Trump's proven that everything is negotiable in this country. And if you have a good idea and you help people, you can get a better outcome.
Did you ever kill anyone else?
No way.
Did you ever commit physical harm to anyone else?
No.
Should have said, did you want to unalive anyone else?
No one else in your family ever?
Tired of hearing it.
One of the neighbors told us on the scene that your parents were under the impression that you were going to take them on a trip. Did you tell them that you were going to take them on a trip before you killed them?
No, but I asked my mother if she wanted to go with me for a ride to Grafton Park. We'd like to go there.
I think they told people that they were possibly moving to Germany.
That's what I said.
Did that you?
And my father was born in Yugoslavia, and then after they could escape communism, they went to Germany, and then my father came to this country, and then my mother in the 50s.
But there were neighbors who said that they had been told by your parents, "Oh, we think we're going to move to Germany." Are they mistaken? Are the neighbors remembering that incorrectly, or could your parents have?
No.
No. Okay.
That's news to me, to be honest.
Okay. All right. I think we're done.
Okay.
Thank you, Lawrence.
I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for talking to us.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, if you can make that all available on YouTube, even on a private website for me, so I can have it
Trust
on
me,
record.
it will be.
This one, yeah, I had seen this one. But to actually hear the full interview is crazy. That's insane. That is literally insane. I don't know. But I feel like, and I watch a lot of court, federal court, district court videos. So I feel like someone like if I was a judge, I would honestly, he needs to be in like some type of mental institution, I would say, rather than just being in like a general population in prison. Because I know he got the orange jumpsuit on and stuff, but that, like, if you can't tell there's something wrong, like, he needs to have one of those mental evaluations done on him. I believe it would surely prove that something obviously happened. Where he's not all the way there, so they can, because they have to be able to prove that. Like, you can't just, because some people be like, oh, well, he's just pleading insanity or something like that. This is insanity for sure. He definitely has that all the way, 100%, no questions asked, I would say, for sure. Let me see, hold on, y'all. Let me just change that to that so you can see me and me only. Hold on, let me just check. Let's do. Hold on, I'm trying to. These people are insane. So we're gonna leave this review as